Joining us to discuss this further tonight is Dr. Ravikumar, the chairman of IMA Hospital Board of India. Thank you, Mr. Ravikumar, for joining us this evening on ET. Now, I want to first ask you, days after the Supreme Court said that it would really slap CGHS charges if the government really fails to standardize hospital charges, now insurance companies have also come up with a proposal for rate standardization. What do you really make of that rate standardization, and will this be acceptable to the government?
Yeah, rate standardization means it is not the average rate of being charged by the various hospitals. It is not a proper methodology. Methodology is there must be a proper scientific costing which has to be done. And this costing methodology has been given in the Clinical Establishment Act itself in 2010 and revised in 2012. Which says this is the methodology of doing the costing. So if a costing can be done and a costing template can be developed as per the standards given by the Clinical Establishment Act, and if that can be implemented to the hospitals, that will give the correct scientific costing. So IMA has already done this costing exercise in 2018 itself, with a template as per the Clinical Establishment Act of 2010 and revised in 2012. So we have done a template, and this has been submitted to the government various times and also to the General Insurance Council many times. And we have been insisting that this template has to be discussed and finalized, so that once you form this template, standard template as per the guidelines given by the CEA, there is no need for going into fish marketing and taking the rates which have been given by the hospitals, various hospitals. The insurers may say that the various hospitals have given different rates of even lesser rates. So these are all because of the pressure given to the hospitals and asking them to sign for the smaller rates, and because of the differential selective empanelment being occurring in the various areas. So they lure the hospitals that in this area only this hospital is empaneled, so you will get more number of cases. So you agree for these rates. So thinking that the volume is going to come for them, they do this process. So this is not correct. Now that the cashless everywhere has come in, a proper methodology of costing has to be done as per the standard template. So that only will work out, and not the average being taken from the various available
right. So you mentioned a very important point that you mentioned a very important point about, you bringing out a template in 2018. My question is really that why was the template then not taken up? Were there any discussions around that? Because this issue has really been sort of going on for a while, and no efforts really have been made to fix this either.
Yeah, because the government itself, during the Ayushman Bharat, when it was launched, so our template was submitted to them, and they went through that, and they temporarily just postponed that, saying that they will form a committee, and Director of Health Research was given the job of forming the committee, and IMA was also part of that committee, but that committee did not work at all. After that, they didn't take it up at all. That is one thing. Second thing is, with the General Insurance Council, we have given this template, and we wanted this to be standardized. They don't want to do that because they very well know that once the template is formed, and if the values are going to be put into the template, naturally the cost is going to be definitely, standard cost will be very high than what actually is being done. So they know very well. And we wanted the government to do the costing for the government hospitals themselves. If they do the costing for the government hospitals, definitely it will be much more than what the private hospitals are charging right now.
Right. So I want to also get your comments on the fact that, a lot of experts are saying that costing of medical procedures is quite complex. It's not the same as products, and hence setting a pricing is a tad difficult. But now a 1 month window has been given. I want to understand how best can this really be worked out? Can there be a middle ground of sorts that can be achieved, and if so, how?
What I would suggest is we should not take any hasty decision because this has been going on for years together and we want to standardize. Everyone wants to standardize. So now, without involving the major stakeholder, that is the IMA, we have nearly 2 lakh members and we have nearly about more than 50,000 hospitals under our Hospital Board of India. We are the major representatives of the stakeholders. So we have never been called to any discussions. Recently also, I was told that there was discussion in the ministry, but ministry has not invited us for the discussion. So unless all the stakeholders are being involved in proper discussion and come out with a standard one, this may not work out. That is my comment.
Right, sir. One question I also want to ask you, and this really has come out of the health ministry meeting, that is a health ministry which really convened a meeting around this issue. And I think one of the important points that came out of that meeting was that models implemented in foreign countries will sort of be reviewed. What is your take on this mechanism? How have other countries really managed to resolve this issue, and what can really India learn from that and implement then that here?
So when you compare the US model, when you compare the model being followed in UK, all these things have gone to failure now. So all their models which they have been following has now gone into failure. And Indian scenario is totally different. You just cannot copy the American system or the UK system. Ours is a very big populous country and we have varied cadres of population, and the hospitals also, they range from various categories. So catering to a rural community with a small hospital, single doctor run hospital with the facilities and taking care of the population there. And you have bigger corporates where you have medical tourism happening with all the advanced technologies. So you cannot generalize with copying the formulations which the Western countries or UK are following it. So we have to have our own model. So that is more important. And the small and medium hospitals, they are the service providers for the rural area. So those hospitals should not die off. So unless a standard
Absolutely
protocol is being formed and a scientific costing is being formed, so these hospitals has to be saved. You cannot allow these smaller and medium hospitals to die off.
Absolutely, sir. Point well made. You're saying that, of course, we cannot let small hospitals, which are really servicing rural areas, three towns and villages, etc., we cannot let them die out. And hence, a standard costing mechanism needs to be finalized for, private and, of course, public hospitals. And thank you very much for your comments on this very, very critical issue. This is a story that ET now will definitely be following